and he's been incredible help at streamlining some of our systems. He has a real gift for making very complex things feel simple. He's a tech leader. He has over 15 years experience helping organizations use technology, and now AI, to work smarter and run more smoothly. He works for Takeda Pharmaceuticals. How many know Takeda? It is a wonderful organization. I gotta tell you what they're a pharmaceutical company, and their care about is creating medications and what do they call them besides medications? Treatments, medications for very rare diseases. So you know, many of the pharmacy companies, as you can imagine, those pharmaceutical companies go around things that are growing, right? And that we have a lot of need for, diabetic medication or things like that, stroke medication. But I love that Takeda does that. It's a very special thing. He helps turn new ideas into practical tools that support how medicines are made for patients around the world. And today he's here to help us all better understand AI and how it can be used in our everyday life. So please join me in welcoming Lewis Robinson and his presentation, Everyday AI Made Simple, Staying Capable, Curious, and Connected.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. How's everybody doing? Great. Are you guys ready to hear about AI? Yes. All right, well, here we go. All right. Well, my name again is Lewis Robinson. Thank you, Andrea, so much for that wonderful introduction. And I'm really here to talk about how we can utilize AI in our everyday life. The theme for this presentation is going to be staying capable, curious, and connected, and how AI can affect us in helpful ways. You guys hear me okay? Lift up a little bit more. How about now? All right, excellent. Okay, let's do this. Okay, so this is not going to be a tech talk, okay? I'm not going to hit you guys with a lot of technical jargon. This is going to be a confidence talk. We're going to talk about how to get comfortable with AI, but really I kind of want to take it back to understand about the overall world, okay? Who remembers Michael Douglas in Wall Street, 1987, okay? Do you remember when that movie came out? It predates me a little bit, but do you remember when that movie came out and he had that big giant cell phone, that brick? You remember, oh, that was so cool. Wow, look, they have cell phones you can take out of the house, right? And you remember how you felt at the time. You saw that the technology then was cutting edge and it was new. Well, AI is very similar to cell phones, right? As the world turns and technology improves, when we saw that the telephone turned into cell phones, right? And then after cell phones, we had home computers get better and better. And then the internet, okay? Well, AI is just the next kind of revolution of that change, where it can connect us and be all around us in ways that we can utilize it the same way that those cell phones and the internet did for us back then, okay? So I know you might be hearing on the news that AI is the next big thing, and it's kind of scary, and we don't really know how to utilize it. But I really want to show that you've already been using AI for some time now, okay? Who here, by show of hands, has GPS in your car? Just about everybody, okay? Who here has FaceTime with their grandkids? Wonderful. Well, believe it or not, AI has been in the background of those applications for quite some time to make the applications easier to use, right, and more seamless in experience. And that's really what AI is really meant to do. It's meant to make our experience less stressful, less hassle. And if you've used some of these apps, who here has a family member that maybe doesn't speak English the best, right? You want to have them speak with other family members or with grandkids. AI can help make that application experience so that it can auto-translate for you, okay? So if you have grandma and grandpa or grandchild in some other state or maybe in some other country, using AI in the background of those applications can make it simple touch, right? Simple open, and you can enjoy that experience today. So really, AI has been around us for quite some time, and it helps us in quiet and helpful ways. So what I want to cover in this speech here is, where does AI show up in everyday life? I'll be covering topics around healthcare, banking and security, home, and who here has an Alexa? There you go, that Alexa, you know. And of course, safety. So healthcare. What does AI do with healthcare today? Okay? It brings more clarity to the healthcare experience. Who here has to call their doctor and kind of pencil in an appointment still? And you try to remember what time that was or when you can meet the doctor? Well, what AI can do is help with appointment reminders, right? As it learns kind of your way of doing things, it can give you those reminders and allow you to not have to kind of razzle your brain to remember when things were. Also, and one of the more kind of current things that AI can do is it can help you talk with your doctor, okay? Now, AI is not a doctor. I'll just get that off the rip. But what it can do is it can help explain medical terms easier, right? So if you're talking to your doctor and say, hey doctor, your doctor says, what's on your mind? I might have a pain here and there, I might be feeling a little more tired. But then if you just stick with kind of basic questions, maybe your doctor doesn't give you all the information that you're looking for. You can literally talk to AI today, and it can help prompt you to what questions you might want to ask, so that your time with your doctor is more fruitful, okay? So obviously AI is not perfect in that way, but it can just help. It's an assistant, right, that you can utilize to talk with your Medicare physician. And also, you guys remember COVID? We weren't able to go to the doctor, okay? And then the doctors come out and say, oh, we have these virtual visit apps, right? Well, then that might have been difficult to figure out and turn on. You might have to call your nephew or your son or your daughter to help you turn that app on. Well, AI helps that experience so that it's easier to go into those virtual visits, and it's also a more simpler experience so that you can spend more time asking your doctor the real questions versus fiddling around with the technology, okay? So AI helps with bringing more clarity to your experience. Okay. Now, banking. And Andrea just kind of mentioned about some of the threats that can happen, today. Now, we know that there's bad actors out there, right? There's scammers and hustlers and people of that nature that are out there that are trying to take some of our assets, right? Well, what are we doing about it, okay? AI, so the banks and other companies are utilizing AI to help protect us against the ever-growing threats that are out there, okay? So we know that some of you might get, text messages and, crazy things that are happening overseas that are coming to your phones or coming to your email. Well, AI is more like the defender that is learning how to continuously protect against some of these threats and help reduce the hassle of those things over time. So AI is in the background like a sentry, like a soldier, that is there to continuously improve and also help protect our things that are most precious to us, our family, and our homes. All right, now something fun here. Entertainment. Who here talks to their Alexa and asks them about playing their favorite song from back in the day? What are some songs that you ask your Alexa to play? Shout them out.
Neil Diamond.
Neil Diamond? The Eagles? Okay, that's a great one. Oh my gosh. So AI is in the background learning your preferences. And in playing your favorite songs from back in the day, imagine AI being like a DJ or a librarian, someone that can search endlessly. Movies, TV shows, your record collection. One of the things that you can do with AI today is ask it questions like, do you guys remember Jimi Hendrix? Okay. 1969 Woodstock. Okay, some of y'all remember that. But then you might not be able to remember what the name of the song was that he was playing or the tune. You can literally talk to AI and say, AI, or Alexa or Siri, I want you to play that 1969 Woodstock. And it'll be able to pull that up instantly, okay? So AI in entertainment gets better with use, okay? Being able to be comfortable with it and asking it simple questions like the Eagles and Jimi Hendrix, right? Allows it to learn your preferences so that it can serve you better as a great AI assistant. Also, who here remembers TiVo? Okay, there you go. And how upset you were if you didn't ask TiVo to record your favorite show. Well, today, you can literally just talk to your Alexa or talk to your AI box and say, I want to record all of Matlock, okay? Or Grey's Anatomy. And you'll be able to continuously record that and then ask it to pull it up anytime you wish. So that's how AI can help with entertainment. All right. Now, on a serious note here, AI can help you when you need it the most. And I'll tell you a quick story. So there's AI inside your phones and AI inside your smartwatches, okay? And I'll tell you a story of how AI helped me when I was in a difficult position. So about last year, I was in a car accident, and I was in a 2014 Cadillac. But I wasn't driving, I was a passenger. And just like this picture here, we were T-boned from a car going 40 miles an hour. And of course, I wasn't feeling the greatest after that. I was pretty dazed and a little bit hurt up. But what happened is the AI inside my watch was able to call the 911 operator, turn the volume on loud so I could hear it, and literally within 2 minutes, I was able to talk to the 911 dispatch. It knew my location, and it was able to bring the police, the ambulance, and the fire to the site where we had that wreck, okay? So that's how it helped me in that situation. Now, imagine, and I remember from the previous discussion, some of you might live home alone, okay? And it may be difficult to call someone in the time of need if you have a fall. But with AI today, the capability that's out there is that if you're on a long walk somewhere, if you're on vacation, in a log cabin in the woods, or even in the basement of your house, what AI can do today is protect you by having these features to call the right people when the time comes, right? These are the types of things to look forward to when technology progresses, and it's only getting better. Even if you're in a rural area with no Wi-Fi, right, or barely any cell service, AI can connect to some of the satellites that are out there and really become kind of like a safety net when everything else might not be available. So, shout out to AI when it comes to safety. Yes. You have a question?
Do you have to have a cell phone right close to you?
No. So her question was, do you have to have the cell phone close to you to be able to utilize these features? Today, literally, there are watches you can buy, we can talk about that after, that have these AI features embedded with them. I'll give you a hint. Apple products. This is not a sponsor, it's a paid ad. So yes. Yes. The question was, what about the apps that you use, like Spotify? So AI is embedded, it's like a coder, right? It's utilized to build the applications that we use every day. And basically what it does is it's learning your preferences, it's learning how you work, and with that, it improves itself based upon you, the individual. So that takes me right to my next slide here. How can AI help you personally? So really with AI, you want to stay curious and explore your interests. Okay? It is a little warm in here, but we going through it. Yeah, Siri, turn the air on. It is a lot of people in here, quite warm. Okay. So AI assistants are out there. Who here remembers Ask Jeeves from a long time ago? There we go. Those old commercials where it was like a butler, okay? Well, AI assistants are like their own personal butler. You can ask AI to plan your vacation. So for instance, you might say, AI, I want to go to Cabo, okay? And then what you can do is you can say, I want to go to Cabo, what are some of the great times of year to go, okay? What are some great restaurants or hotels I could stay at? And what would be the budget? And literally within 2 minutes or less, it can talk to you and give you those recommendations. Because AI is connected to the internet, so it can do all that searching for you. And if you want to print it out on paper, you can ask it to send you an email. Also, you can use it to give you a dinner recipe. So I know sometimes you come home, and you look in your refrigerator, and you're like, you know what? All I got is some ground beef. What can I do? And AI can say, well, you can make some meatloaf. And literally, it can give you the instructions, cooking times, how to cook it, and give you recommendations based upon what you have in your refrigerator, right? So these are some of the things that it can do as your personal assistant. And of course, showing me highlights from the game, right? Who here is a Dodger fan? Hey, okay. So if you want some highlights from the World Series, you can ask AI to show you all those great Ohtani home runs. I'm trying to get this microphone. So AI assistants are out there, and there are free versions of these AI assistants, okay? So you've heard about ChatGPT, there's Claude, there's a plethora of different AI assistants out there. But the real idea here is that it can help you personally, and all you have to do is try and utilize them, ask someone in your family, or just go on your phone today, type these things in here, and remember, just like on the internet, what boomed and came out, and then you had to search and go on other websites, now it can just talk to you, and you can get the answers that you're looking for. So, I do want to say that AI is not perfect, and has a long way to go. Okay, you see the picture of that dog there that knocked over that houseplant? Sometimes you have to treat AI like a pet. AI is smart, but it still needs guidance, okay? You wouldn't want your pet to make the bed or take out the trash. And if you have a dog like that, send me the breed. That would be wonderful. So really the mention here is that AI can make mistakes, right? You want to be able to give it a few things to do, but don't give it too much at once, right? Like a toddler. You don't want the toddler to go and, stir the pot or make dinner, but you want it to put the forks away, put the blanket, back in the chest. So think of AI in that form, where if you're patient with it, over time it will get things right. And it starts to learn and get better, right? But it's not the end-all be-all, and when it makes mistakes, sometimes it's hard to understand if it makes mistakes. Just keep trying it, keep utilizing it, but don't give it too much. So if you're new to AI, right, what's a good first step? You want to start small. You want to ask AI more direct questions like, what's the weather outside? Okay? How many ounces are in a cup? Or, who won The Price is Right yesterday? You want to pick kind of simple questions, right? Because basically what AI is doing is it's searching the internet and giving you answers, right? So it can't really think for itself just yet. It's going to take maybe some years for it to get there. But if you give it a good first step, if you give it a good try, then you'll be able to see kind of some of its limitations, but also enjoy some of its capabilities and benefits for you, okay? So being able to use AI for understanding is also really good. If you want to ask it to explain something, or break something down, or give you kind of an update, you can ask it about the news, you can ask it about some term that you heard. Those are the things that AI is good at today, and if you're able to continuously try that, then it'll be a much better time. And practice makes perfect, right? Just like riding a bike. When you get on that bike for the first time in a while, you might wobble a little bit, okay? But with that practice and over time, you'll be able to use AI like it's that cell phone that you saw in the previous slide. So AI is here, but we are the key, right? It's like an endless encyclopedia of information. But we're the ones that make it run, and we're the ones that make use of it, okay? So stay capable with AI. Understand what it can do by trying it out, okay? Stay curious. Really kind of look to see how you can utilize AI to ask questions, answer questions. Don't give it too much, and be patient with it. And then lastly, stay connected. Stay connected with AI, because just like that brick cell phone, my man Michael Douglas back in the day, AI is the underpinning of what can connect us all, okay? It's in our communications, it's in our televisions, it's in our safety, but utilizing it more, you'll be comfortable with it, and therefore, you'll be able to be AI efficient. So for any questions about AI topics, oh, there's some questions right now, okay. Yes, please.
Okay, I have two questions.
Sure.
First one is, it was funny because I do have Alexa. I use it just for music usually, but I was making pasta and I needed to know how much pesto to put in 2 cups. And so I said, Alexa, and I asked her, and like that, I mean, before I even finished what I was saying, she was able to respond. So how does that happen so quickly to be able to put that together for my business?
Yeah. So, lady asked here, if I was making pasta and I needed some pesto, how did Alexa so quickly know what to do? Well, so AI is connected to the internet, right? So just like if you go on Google, you ask it something, you're like, wow, it gave me 1 million web pages to search up, right? Well, then this is just the newer iteration of that. It's basically doing the same thing, but then just talking to you. It's saying, pesto, add that to your pasta.
Okay, and then the second question I have, and this is something that I know a lot of people are talking about, and in terms of our personal safety using it, that, for the example you gave, where you were in the car accident. So, you know, people came to you right away, 911, and they knew your location. So either through Alexa, if we're talking around our house about things, or we're out in the world, so it's almost like a big brother thing where they're following you around because they know where you are. So how can that hurt us in terms of a database someplace where our information is being given out and can be used for whether it's advertising or negative things about us?
Great question. So basically, with AI being out there, and I heard the term kind of big brother, how can you really protect yourself? Because that's really what it is. Technology is everywhere, but you have to be, you want to learn how to protect yourself more. The most basic thing I can say is don't share your personal information, like something that you wouldn't tell your neighbor, you don't want to tell AI, right? And AI is improving to be more secure, right, over time. But the capabilities that we have, like you heard from the safety example, is out there because there's satellites and there's Wi-Fi and stuff like that. But the biggest thing is you want to learn kind of the boundaries to utilize it. And if you wouldn't tell your neighbor, don't tell AI, so that you know that it's basically in a safe place for you. Yes, sir.
Yes. Louis, the major impact that I see is on our children and grandchildren.
Okay.
And I'd like to have you discuss what it's going to do relative to the job markets
Great question. So I will repeat the question. So the question from the server here is about our children and grandchildren and how will AI kind of affect their future, especially from the workforce. Okay, gotta love these questions. So AI is a technology, right? I used to call it, it's just like a hammer and a nail. If you wanted to have a profession as a woodworker or a steel worker, you had to learn how to use the tool of the hammer and the nail, okay? So just like when we had to learn how to use typewriters and then computers, right? This is the next iteration of that. Now for our children and grandchildren, the opportunity to learn about AI is out there today and will be more prevalent in the future. And if you look at some of these young kids out there that are using their tablets and their iPads and how quick they are when they are doing games and going around there, okay? The opportunity to learn about AI and utilize it in their daily way of learning, building, producing, speaking, will be the way that they can use it to their benefit.
Plus, you're absolutely right, but the problem I see is that as it becomes integrated into the major businesses, okay, it's going to preclude the need for people that have typically been white collar.
So basically his retort there is that there won't be a need for us as businesses for utilizing AI. I would say that's not true. Here's what I can say as a person who runs an AI business, has to utilize AI to build applications and talk to it all the time. AI is not very smart, okay? It takes us to be able to use it, and that's where the two kind of come together, right? AI can never replace us because we're the ones that utilize it for our needs and for what we do on a day-to-day basis, okay? So if you think about it as a tool, right? A tool can't build a house by itself. AI is the same thing. We are the ones that make it work, and we are the ones that can learn it and utilize it for our needs. And yes, it's out there, but just like when the internet came out and we didn't have to do so much maybe file searching, it's the next iteration of what it is today. How am I doing on time? We're good? Okay. Next question.
Yes, I want to know if you can you use AI or talk to AI on a laptop?
Yeah, great question. The question was, can you use AI or talk to AI on a laptop? Yes, you can. Yes, and it's very simple. Basically, you go to a website and you can, like a chatgpt.com, and type in your question. So you can definitely use it, and then it can talk to you as well. Yes, ma'am.
I want to share something really good. Yesterday I was at the dentist. I lost the crown. The dentist looked at it. She looked at the tooth that was left and she said, "Oh, you may have a cavity." I'm thinking pain. I'm thinking hitting my wallet and nothing stuck. She says, "Wait a minute. Let me check with AI." She goes, pops it up. "You don't have a cavity." So why isn't everybody utilizing this? I don't understand it. I don't understand the technology, but how could they even know? How could they find out the answer already just by taking a picture whether you, I don't understand. I feel so taken advantage of by dentists now. When you've got this thing that says, "Look, you don't have a cavity."
Well, I can't speak for the dentist, but what I can say is similar to, I guess, the change in how some of these professions are trying to provide customer care. They want to be able to service you in the better way that they can, more accurately than they can. And if they're using AI as like a search engine or a search tool, it can help them provide better diagnoses, right? So it's a supplementary tool. They're not just using it, directly, but that's kind of the next version of doing a Google search. So that if your healthcare professional is using it to supplement what they know, so that it can be a little more accurate and help you, that is the intention. Yes, ma'am, in the back.
I'd like to share a concern about AI and recently taught in college back in
I will say that and so the question was, is AI in colleges and learning and people using it to cheat on tests? I will say that yes, we're still learning how to work with AI in the education system, right? It's very early days, and like you said, the young kids, they're learning quick on how to utilize things. So it'll be a process. It'll be a process to learn how to utilize it. I don't have the answers for that, but we'll get there soon. One more. I think my out of time. Okay, so everyone, thank you so much. Right? Thank you guys. You have wonderful questions, wonderful experiences. The last thing I'll say is, I'm glad there's many different questions here, and I would love to talk to you all. I do have a website called CareSuite, CareSuite.biz. That's caresuite.biz, or you can utilize the QR code to send me an email, and we can have further discussions. Thank you to everyone for the time here. Love you all, and have a great AI day.
Super high interest topic. Thank you for giving us ideas, maybe jogging our brains a little bit to say what if, and to give us some practical suggestions. I think everybody